Hey gang, it's Doug DeVitri and welcome back to another live stream session. We're here at the St. Louis County Library having some fun, and today's program is going to be unlocking the power of AWS, also known as Amazon Web Services. So a lot of content we're going to be discussing today in a short period of time, so I suggest that you take a lot of notes as we go through. And then also, as you start to have some questions, I'd encourage you to type them in the participant chat. So whatever channel you're streaming in from, whether it is LinkedIn or it's YouTube or it's Facebook, type a little comment in and I'll make sure that I respond to each one of those channels individually. So we're going to dig in here as we start to go through some of these different things, and hopefully, let's see, here we go. So just a little bit about my journey using Amazon Web Services. So back in 2017, I saw my son Harry, how he would respond to Amazon Alexa, right? So if you have one of the Alexa devices, maybe you probably check the weather, you check the music. Well, our thing together was how do you play Wheels on the Bus? So as Harry would run around the dining room table, he would ask Alexa, play Wheels on the Bus. And as I saw him respond to it, I knew then I really wanted to become a developer and ended up developing a lot of Amazon Alexa skills. So that was really my first introduction to software development. And then as I started to dig into some of the tools, I just figured, well, why not go ahead and get certified? And if you are earning or stacking up certifications, you've probably seen the account or profile that you can create called Credly, right? So this is where you earn certifications. This is kind of becomes your repository of all these different certifications. And if I back up, I just want to show you that I've been stacking these up. So far as of where we are, 2024, I have earned the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification, the AWS Certified Developer Associate certification, the AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate certification. And if you have one of these, you know they're not easy, right? I did not come from an IT background. I have a very strong marketing background. And I used to come up with excuses myself on why I shouldn't pursue IT because I was a marketing guy. And those self-limiting beliefs I had for years until I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to take a proactive interest in this. And doing so, right, I've been able to kind of stack these things up and then add to my skills with that. Then it actually has helped me become a better marketer. It's helped me develop better solutions from the clients that I've worked with. And what I'm going to share with you today is if you're just getting started, right, you have a very limited budget. Let's say you have a teacher's budget, right? You don't have a whole lot of money, you don't have a whole lot of time, but you want to try to find the path of least resistance. I'm going to share with you a couple different ideas. Now, I will say that in my course of learning, I'm going to pull up this channel. It's called, I don't have the right one up. It's Udemy, right? So Udemy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to my learning, right? So I don't know, I think I've started using Udemy since probably 2017. And the very first Udemy course that I took was with Ryan Kroonenberg, who has now moved on to bigger and better things. He's he was a big influencer for me at the time on developing Amazon solutions. And you can see here, these are the different courses that I've taken. And it hasn't been just limited to one thing. So specific to AWS, I've taken the certified database specialty course, the data analytics course, SysOps course, solutions architect course, and not just from one person, but many of these courses. And the thing is when you do this yourself through Udemy, it can cost a significant amount of money as it starts to rack up. Now, because I'm here at the library here and I'm showing my love for the St. Louis County Library, if you have a library card, you can get access to these courses all for free. So as I move back to this page, let's see, where was I? Yeah, this page here, and you can see how I'm logged in here to where it says Gale Presents. So Gale is the name of the company that the St. Louis County Library has a license through. So if you start to figure out, okay, what courses am I going to take? You just type in AWS, and then you can see a ton of them that are out there. Now, whenever I look at courses, I try to figure out, okay, who has the most amount of reviews, the highest rating of the review, and you can see that a couple of these folks that stand out among the tops. So really, what you want to start from, and this is where I started from, and I'll take you back to my Credly profile, is AWS certified cloud practitioner. So this is where you start to learn some of the lingo, some of the definitions, some of the basic applications that are available. And then it's up to you to decide, okay, which ones are going to be most specific to my business. And as we kind of move forward through this program, I'm actually going to show you how you can use some of these services. And then also, if you're not familiar with the lingo or the steps, or maybe you go to Google or you go to YouTube and you can get super overwhelmed with some of the stuff, I'm going to take us over to ChatGPT that will actually type out the instructions for you to do step by step. And the benefit of using ChatGPT, in my experience, and again, it's not always 100%, but what it does is there's no ads, right? It actually gives you step by step. And if you wanted to repurpose the content that you get from ChatGPT in a way that helps it you kind of develop your own learning resources, you have the ability to do that. So I'd say, like, okay, as far as steps, I'd take the cloud practitioner one first. I would take the developer associate next, and then the solutions architect associate if you're going to follow some sort of formal path with this. Also, I'll take you here to the AWS certification page. They just have a ton of free stuff. And then also there are links to specific providers. Now, I can say this firsthand is whenever you try to learn on your own, you're going to run into stumbling blocks. There really isn't anybody who you can ask a question to and get a live demonstration or example. There's been times when I've had to hire somebody off of Upwork to help explain some of these advanced concepts in detail, or if I get stuck in developing solution, I might hire someone to be able to help me with it. But really, AWS has a lot of this already built in place. So not only can you get the training from AWS himself, you can get it to Udemy, but also if you're logged into the St. Louis County Library, and I'm gonna actually do this. I'm gonna go to library, and then I'm gonna click on library services, and then I'm gonna scroll down. Research and learn. I'm gonna scroll down to where it says job help and career building. And then I scroll down and I'm going to look for, let's see, where was it? It's Learning Express Library. Click on that. And then go to resource. And it's going to pull this up. So all these things that would normally cost a ton of money, you can get right here through your library. So when you click on AWS Training Center, you can then choose, okay, which category of the resources are available. And I probably start here with Cloud Essentials. Which apps, which category do I want to focus in on? Because this is a whole world in itself. It's so easy to get lost. And really there are pathways depending upon which kind of, if you want to choose IT as a career path. But at the very basic, I would recommend taking the Cloud Essentials, because what that then allows you to do is start with a basic understanding. So that way, if you want to dig more specific into an application, you have the ability to do that. And then you also can find these different courses from Udemy as well. So really, to get started with AWS, you will want to create an AWS profile. And so if I go to aws.amazon.com, you can kind of see what the main sign-on screen looks like. And then it says, just get your credit card in, doesn't use some of the services. In fact, what's really great when getting started is that AWS allows you for free tier access. So let's say if you wanted to be able to host internet files, right? Then the application you would choose would be Amazon or AWS S3. And so AWS S3 has a free tier that shares with you within a 12-month period. This is how many files that you can host, how many times it can be accessed, and so forth. That way, you're not having to spend money in order to be able to kind of start up in your business. And then what I'd also recommend doing is when you actually, I'll open this up right here, free tier AWS. Just search for that. And then it will actually share with you all of the different services that are available for free, right? So let's pretend I wanted to choose a specific category here called developer tools. Well, you get I won't go into specific details with these because it's a bit much, but ultimately the ones we're going to talk about today are going to be AWS Lightsail, how you can create a website, more specifically WordPress website for free, how you can host files for free, and then depending upon your comments here, this is where I'm going to ask you for a little bit of some of your input. Is that if you can type in something specifically that you're looking for, just my experience on using a variety of these different applications, I am happy to share with you at least what I know. Maybe I can even ask someone in the network to be able to help me move you forward. So within the free tier, again, you have all of these different options for free. I'll also say this too, is that you're going to want to develop your own kind of, what I should say, security profile or process with how you are able to log in using the two-factor authentication with the Authenticator app that you can download to your phone, because security is probably one of the biggest things right now. I know that many companies are getting hacked or losing access to their data, and it's up to you, either as the primary account holder or the business owner, or maybe it's the owner of your specific department, that you implement the correct protocol when getting started with this, because the last thing you want to do is spend a lot of time, spend a lot of money in creating these little applications that are going to help your business, to find out that somebody was able to break in and get hacked. So that's a whole different session on that. In fact, if I go log into the AWS account itself, you can see I'm logged in right here. This is the first one that you would typically start with. It's called IAM. It's also known as Identity Access Management. This tools for you, who can use what. Now this is I just started this account, so there isn't a whole lot of activity on this. I'm actually logged in as the root user, and one of the steps that I have not done yet is created kind of. So you have the root user, which is kind of like the god of the account, right? And then you have other users, which might represent different people. If you're a larger company, you might have an individual who's responsible for different aspects of the account, and you can assign those privileges using the identity management tool. So it's a lot, right? It's a lot, but you know, in my experience, the more you start to play with it, the more courses that you might take, the more familiarity you have, you start to then build your confidence with using any one of these specific applications. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and create a WordPress blog for free, and I'll show you how to do that. Once you're logged in, you type in Lightsail. Lightsail is the application, and what Lightsail allows you to do is create the web server in the cloud. So examples of a web server might be a WordPress account. You know, when my son was in his as a learning platform, we had to launch our virtual Minecraft worlds on these virtual servers, and Lightsail was the tool to be able to do that. And what you do when you're using Lightsail, let me zoom in so you can see this a little bit better, is that you'll create what's called an instance, right? So we're creating an instance, or in other words, a web server for you to be able to get started with this. So the way that AWS works is they have these things called regions and availability zones. And again, taking that cloud practitioner starter course is going to help you kind of understand what some of this lingo means. But for the most part, we're gonna come down here and just choose the default zone. Then we will choose select a platform, which is going to be Linux, Unix. For the blueprint, we're going to choose apps and OS, and then WordPress, right? Now, if there's these others that are available here, we're not going to get into that. We're just going to come down here and then see what the pricing is. Now, as what I'd mentioned, you're going to get started for free. I wasn't kidding you with that. Right here, it says that for the first 90 days, right, you're able to create your own blog for free. Then it's going to end up being $12 a month. And I would probably, this is the one that I would select personally. You can get lower, but if you go lower than this, what you'll run into is it takes a little bit longer time for it to upload. It doesn't render as quickly. And so without breaking the bank, choose the free tier here. And then also, I highly recommend setting a calendar notification so that you can decide, okay, you know what? Great, I created this thing, but I haven't used it. Let's make sure we log into our account and delete this resource. That way we're not billed the $12 a month afterwards. Okay. So for this, we're just going to call this test 2. And that's it. So we're going to create this instance. And this is how fast that you can create one of these things. So right now it's building WordPress. And maybe in the past, if you created a WordPress account, you've gone to GoDaddy, you've gone to another tool or service, and a lot of the things are built in. You don't have to go through a lot of these different steps. So, this may be cheaper for you to be able to start something off on light sale, but it might take you a little bit more work and understanding in order for it to be configured. If you're going to turn this into, I don't want to say, I guess, a real business, right? But something that you're going to be able to grow, you're going to be able to scale and make well use of over time. So this thing is running here. This right here, this number here, scroll in a little bit here. This is the IP address, right? So if I were to click on this, copy, open up a new tab, and then paste. Okay, it says it's not loading here. So I'm guessing that it's probably just taking a little bit of time. Let me see if I refresh. It's probably taking a little bit of time to set this up. But while that's working, so it's actually working on the back end, we're going to open up ChatGPT, right? And then we are going to create a new chat that says, okay, list the steps in creating a light sale instance on AWS to host a WordPress blog. Okay. Now, I can copy and paste this and put it in the comments for you to be able to view later. But for more or less, we're just going to see what this comes up with. So right now, it's going to say, and it's going to actually share with you the things that I had mentioned before. It's going to say create sign into AWS. Go to light sale. I showed you this already. Create instance, select image, which was WordPress. Select instance plan. The free plan is what I recommend. Give your instance a name, click launch, and then you're going to configure this here, right? So again, the stuff that I'm going to show you will not take a sophisticated level of knowledge in using the command line interface or any coding. It's just going to pretty much what you can do if you can copy and paste and know where to paste it, right? So this is the command that you're going to want. And in fact, before you're going to want the command, you are going to want to you're going to copy this right here. And then we'll go back to, we'll open up this, click this little icon here, which represents the terminal or the command line. And this is specific for this web server that we just initiated. So great. Now that we have this little screen that pops up, I'm just going to type ls to see what's in here. And so good, it's working. Now, that command that we had just copied from ChatGPT, I'll go back to this. This is what's going to find out what our WordPress password is. Okay. Now, I'm just going to refresh this to see if it's pulled up. Okay, good. So this is the web address or the IP address for the light sale instance that we just created. So at the top, it says 3.144.98 .172. So this is the web address right now. We have not assigned it a domain name yet. We're not taking any of those advanced steps when it comes to setting up the networking. Sometimes if you were to contact GoDaddy, they might walk you through step by step on how to make sure that the the hosting records are aligned with the web hosting that you have set up with the domain name. But more or less, this is your WordPress blog's URL at the current state. And if you've used a WordPress blog before, you'll know that you'll want to log in. So you type in the /wp-admin, and then the username is going to be admin default. This is how it starts up. And then we come back here to this command. So cat, C-A-T, and then it says $home /Betnami_application_password. We're going to copy that. And then where are we going? We're going back to the terminal window. And we're going to paste. We're going to enter. So this is the password for our new WordPress blog. So we come back here. We'll paste. Oh, didn't like that. Try it again. Maybe, and sometimes this thing can be finicky. Or no, wait, I'm sorry, it's not admin, it's user. So my apologies. Can't cut that on the live stream, so hope you got the second part. It's user, and then hit login. So let's cross our fingers. Boom. Now we're in. Now I'm just gonna save this password for later, but ultimately now we can go through and start creating our WordPress blog. Now you'll see, we'll come back to this here. If I go to the website, it says visit site. This is the template or the theme that's set up. This became default, but even if we wanted to go back in and start to adjust our WordPress blog, so we go to the themes and we can choose a new theme. We can upload a new theme. A place that I like to go for my themes, and again, there's a ton of them. I'll just type in Envato WordPress themes. Click on this. You can build it from scratch, right? But again, depending on which one you want to have, let's say we just choose this. Let's say I'm an author, but I want to create a new WordPress blog from author profile. You can see I've got a couple here. Maybe it's this one. This one costs $39. Now I have the license to be able to use it. I can download the zip file and then come back to the blog, click add new theme, choose the file where it's located, right? And then activate the theme, and now you're up and running. That didn't, I mean, how long did that take? It didn't take it only took a few minutes. So as we go, so I'm going to go ahead and open this back up for questions here, or maybe just a reminder to type any questions you might have on starting your WordPress blog. Maybe it's where to find a domain name. GoDaddy is the simplest one. But even if we went into AWS, there's a service called Route 53, where you can buy your own specific domain names. So it'd be just like going to GoDaddy. Thing is, I guess the benefit of going with GoDaddy on buying a domain name is you have somebody you can pick up the phone and call. They've got the support. AWS doesn't really have that support, right? So if you decide to go through AWS and you run into a barrier, you really don't have anybody to call other than somebody you might know who knows this really well, or you go to Upwork in order to be able to hire them as an independent contractor to create, or maybe if it's even fix what you broke before. Great. So now we're going to go back to AWS, and we're going to look at some of these different applications. So if we go to services, just click on this where it has the 9 dots. You can see all of the different services that are out there. Now, the big one, the one that most people are used to or familiar with, and I'm going to guarantee that you have used this in the past, is Amazon S3. So Amazon S3 is very similar to Dropbox or Google Drive. There are a lot more advanced features that allow you to make these files available just internally or make these files externally available to the public. You could even create a simple website that you built in ChatGPT and host it on Amazon S3, and then use Route 53 in order to forward the domain name to the simple website that you've created on Amazon S3. There's even templates that you can choose to create your simple website using ChatGPT. There's just a variety of different ways to do this. So let's pretend I wanted to create my own file folder inside of S3 where I can store this. So I'm just going to call this real estate videos-dd. And there are specific rules that you need to follow to make sure that you create your folder correctly. It has to be unique. That's why I put real estate videos-dd. And this is the name of your folder. And the lingo in AWS is called a bucket. So we're going to put all of our files in a bucket. And then what I'm going to do here, this is the one setting that you're going to want to check, is where it says block all public access. I'm going to uncheck this box. And I'm going to make all of these files available as long as you have the specific URL, okay? And what's really good about the service is that it restricts access to any of these files until you tell somebody to. So now they have these videos here, I'm going to upload a video. So if I click on upload, and I'm going to add a file, I'm just going to look for a .mp4 video that I might have. So I'm just going to upload this OBS say hello in the comments video. Properties, don't have to worry about that. Permissions, we'll get into that here in a second. But for more or less, I'm just going to upload this file. So right now, as it's starting to upload here, I'm going to click on the file name. Okay. So this is the information about this specific file. Probably more information that you were ever going to want to imagine. Now, if I click on this link, it says here, okay, access is denied. This file does not have any information stored with it. And the reason why is because we actually need to go into the properties, the permissions of this, and we need to edit this, okay? So it says right here, this bucket has the bucket owner enforced settings applied for object ownership, okay? So we're going to have to go through and we're going to have to click on these and make this publicly available. We can share this with a pre-signed URL. Create the pre-signed URL, make this available for 60 minutes. So now, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to cut this out because it's been a while since I've gone into this. In fact, we'll probably end up doing is a follow-up video to this to show you how to use S3. So my apologies if you're watching me trying to do this. I know it hasn't changed here, but it's just been a while since I've logged into this. Let's go through and let's look at another service that we can have some fun with. Amazon Poly. So Amazon Poly is what you can use to make MP3 files from text. So right here, this is text to speech. As the text says, "Hi, my name is Joanna. I will read any text you type here." So if you click on listen, you might not be able to hear that based upon how the computer is figured. But ultimately, I could just download this MP3 file. Skip through that. Now I can open it up in a media browser and I can listen to it. Now, what happens is when you create these files here on using using the service, and you download it as an MP3, then you'll need to upload it to your hosting, which is stored in S3. Okay. So now that you have your file stored in S3, you can link to the audio, or you can link to the video, and that will be stored on your specific website that you have. And the file itself is hosted on Amazon S3. So one of the things, gang, I want to mention to you as I start to or as I continue to create some of these videos and post them online, what I'm doing is sharing the summaries, sharing some of the videos, any updates that we have to some of the information that you can implement, hosting this all on my Substack blog. And so if you go to dougdivitri.substack.com, you can learn more about a lot of things that we're posting. So, so thank you all for tuning in on this session today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and look at S3 a little bit more in detail. It is a common service that you will use when you're getting started using Amazon Web Services. And I just going to put a little bit more time into it. That way it can give you some better information moving forward. So gang, have a great week. We'll hopefully have you tuned in on the next show. Take care.